Welcome to the tutorial on Advanced Accounting 2. Today the chapter is Holding Company and Subsidiary Company. Definition of holding company and subsidiary company. In the previous tutorial, we have learned that there are different ways by which one company can gain control over another companies. One way is to acquire all the assets and liabilities, which is known as absorption or amalgamation. That topic was discussed in the previous tutorial made by me. There is another way to acquire all or the majority, 50% or above of the voting or equity share, of these companies. That means if you want to control another company by purchasing 50% or above voting share or equity share, in that case the company which acquire the another company is called the holding company. That means the acquiring company is known as holding company, and the company whose shares have been acquired is known as subsidiary company of the holding company. That means subsidiary company is the enterprise that is controlled by another enterprise, and holding or parent company is the enterprise that has one or more subsidiaries. Characteristics of holding company and subsidiary company. The holding company has a majority shares in the subsidiary company. The holding company will gain control on 50% or above shares, and subsidiary company continues to operate as before as a separate identity or entity. The main purpose is to create a relationship where the holding company will control the subsidiary company, and in that case the holding companies are able to nominate the majority of the directors of subsidiary company and therefore control such companies. Another interesting thing is that the public may not be aware about the existence of combinations among the various companies, because both the companies can operate as before. Each subsidiary company prepares its own accounts, but in case of holding company, they prepare a consolidated balance sheet besides the separate financial statement. Advantage of holding company. Holding company need not to be invest entire amount in subsidiary company but still enjoy the controlling power in such company. That means there is a need of minimum investment to gain the control on subsidiary company, and it is possible to decentralize operations with full responsibility and accountability to the subsidiary, and there is a possibility to carry forward losses for income tax purpose. The holding company can acquire or dispose of the shares anytime whenever they wish or desire. Disadvantages of holding company. Intercompany transaction may not be at a fair prices. That means whenever there is a related party transaction in the form of intercompany transaction, there may not be at a fair prices. Sometimes minority shareholders' interest may not be properly protected, and there may be a possibility to manipulate profit or financial position because the accounts of various companies may be made up on different dates. That's why there may be a possibility to manipulate profit or financial position of group companies. Sometimes subsidiary companies may be forced to appoint a person of the choice of holding company, such as auditors, directors, or other officers, in dually high remuneration. The subsidiary company may be forced for purchases or sale of goods, certain assets, etc. as per the direction of holding company. So these are the some example which may arise in case of holding companies or subsidiary companies. However, when there is a issue of holding company and subsidiary company, there is a requirement of preparing consolidated financial statements. In that case, the holding company prepare the consolidated financial statement of the company as well as all the subsidiaries in the same forms or manners can prepare the standalone financial statement of the parent company. A consolidated balance sheet or financial position shows all the assets and liabilities of the holding company and its subsidiaries. Consolidation procedure: whenever we need to prepare consolidated financial statements, the financial statements of the parent and its subsidiaries should be combined on a line by line basis by adding together all the items like assets and liabilities and profit and loss account. In that case, we consider the group as a single enterprise. However, we can see the first procedure is we need to eliminate the investment in each subsidiary by the holding company and the respective equity of each subsidiary. That means if the holding company do any investment in each subsidiary, and the respective equity of each subsidiary should be eliminated. And by this elimination, we need to do a calculation which may be a goodwill or a capital reserve. If the investment or cost is higher than the assets or equity acquired, then that difference is called goodwill. But if the investment by the holding company in subsidiary is less than the acquired equity of subsidiary, then the difference is called capital reserve. We need to calculate the minority interest. That means we already know that this holding company and subsidiary company relationship arise when the holding company acquired the 50% or above equity share of subsidiary company. That means suppose we consider that the holding company acquired 80% of share. In that case, the rest of the 20% shareholders' right or interest would be considered as minority interest. However, after identifying the minority interest, it should be presented in the balance sheet or financial position separately from liabilities and the equity of parents' shareholders. In case of consolidation procedure, whenever there is a intra-group balances and intra-group transaction, we should eliminate those balances or those transactions. Statements should be prepared using uniform accounting policies for like transactions and other events in similar circumstances. The profit and loss of subsidiary should be included, and there are two types of results of operation which are called pre-acquisition profit, which is known as capital profit, and another profit of subsidiary is called post-acquisition profit. We are already aware that minority interest should be presented separately in the financial position from the liabilities and equity of the parents' shareholders. Now we can see the basic rules for preparing a consolidated balance sheet or consolidated financial position. Rule number 1: cancellation of investment and share capital. Here the investment means the investment by the holding company in subsidiary company, and the share capital means the share capital of subsidiary company. However, here we can see an example. Share capital of holding company is 1 lakh and share capital of subsidiary company is 40,000. On the other hand, fixed assets of holding company is 60,000 and fixed assets of subsidiary company is 40,000, and holding company invested by acquiring 4,000 shares in subsidiary limited. That means this investment is done to acquire the share capital of subsidiary limited. That means this is a intercompany balance. Holding company invested 40,000 in the shares of subsidiary limited. So whenever we will prepare the consolidated balance sheet or consolidated financial position, we need to remove these two items because they are intercompany balance. However, we can see wherever we will prepare a combined balance sheet or combined financial position, we can see share capital 1 lakh. We are just showing the 1 lakh of holding company. Subsidiary company share capital will be removed. This is the fixed asset total 1 lakh, and that is called elimination of investment in subsidiary and share capital of subsidiary. The second rule is calculation of minority interest. We need to do the calculation of minority interest because holding company acquires more than half but less than all the shares of the subsidiary company. That means if the holding company does not acquire all the shares, in that case there are maybe some shareholders who have a minority shares, and the interest of those minority shareholders are referred as the minority interest. However, whenever we will prepare consolidated financial position or balance sheet, we need to show this minority interest as a separate item. Here is an example. The equity share of subsidiary company is 50,000, but the holding company invested up to 40,000. Although the equity share of subsidiary company is 50,000, but holding company invested only 40,000. That's why the rest of the 10,000 is called the minority interest. That means we are calculating the minority interest by deducting the investment by holding company from the amount of equity of subsidiary company. Here we can see the important points regarding minority interest. We already know that minority interest should be shown in the consolidated financial position or balance sheet as a separate item because it's not a liability of the group. However, minority interest is calculated at the date of consolidated balance sheet. The third rule, we can see we need to calculate the goodwill or capital reserve due to this consolidation process. If the value of investment in subsidiary is higher than the book value of net assets acquired or book value of equity acquired, the difference is called goodwill. Here is an example. Suppose holding company acquired 80% of the shares of subsidiary company by providing taka 48,000. Here we can see the subsidiary company has equity share of taka 50,000, and according to this condition the 80% of 50,000 amount would be 40,000. That means holding company acquired amount of 40,000, because if we calculate the percentage we can see holding company acquired the equity of 40,000, but they have paid or their investment is 48,000. Here you can see investment 4,000 share at the rate of 12 taka per share. The investment of holding company is 48,000, but they have acquired 80% share, which is equal to 40,000. Here the investment is higher than the equity acquired from the subsidiary. If the value of investment by the holding company is higher than the equity acquired from subsidiary company, that difference is called goodwill. On the other hand, here there is another issue. This is the acquired equity from subsidiary company, but the investment by the holding company is lower. This is the inverse situation. In that case, the difference is called capital reserve. The difference between the investment and the acquired equity could be considered as goodwill or capital reserve. The difference would be considered as capital reserve if the investment is lower than the acquired equity. Here you can see holding company acquired 80% share. Here the total amount is 50,000 and the 80% of the 50,000 is equal to 40,000. That means holding company acquired 40,000 equity from the subsidiary company, but they invested 36,000. Here you can see investment 4,000 equity shares at the rate of taka 9, which is equal to 36,000. That means they have invested 36,000, but they have acquired, the holding company acquired equity share up to the amount of 40,000. That's why here the acquired equity is higher than the investment, and this difference is called capital reserve. Here the amount of capital reserve is 4,000. If the investment is higher, that is called goodwill, but if the investment is lower, here we can see the investment 36,000, it is lower, then it is called capital reserve. Rule number 4, reserves of holding and subsidiary company. The reserves of holding company will be shown in the consolidated financial position, but the reserve of subsidiary company will be apportioned or distributed in calculating the minority interest as well as in calculating the goodwill or capital reserve. Here we have shown only the calculation of minority interest. That means we are discussing about the reserve. Here we can see general reserve of subsidiary company 10,000. This reserve of subsidiary company should be apportioned or distributed while calculating the goodwill or capital reserve. Here we can see the total equity should be considered as 60,000, 50,000 plus 10,000. So this is the total equity, because this general reserve is also part of the equity. That's why the amount of total equity is 60,000, and the holding company acquired 80% share. We can see investment 4,000 at the rate of taka 12. The total amount of investment is 48,000. Although the equity amount is 60,000, they have invested up to 48,000. That means the rest of the amount is called the minority interest. We have included this reserve to the equity to show as a total equity, and we have shown the minority interest by deducting from this 60,000. Minority interest is 12,000 here. We will discuss about this reserve in calculating goodwill or capital reserve in doing a practical problem. In this slide, we are just showing that this 12,000 minority interest should be shown as a separate item in the financial position. Here we can see minority interest 12,000. Rule number 5, pre-acquisition profit and post-acquisition profit of subsidiary company. The profits earned by the subsidiary company before the holding company acquires its control is known as the pre-acquisition profit. On the other hand, profits earned by the subsidiary company after the holding company acquires its control is known as post-acquisition profit. Pre-acquisition profit is also known as capital profit, and post-acquisition profit is known as revenue profit. Pre-acquisition profit is considered in calculating the goodwill or capital reserve, and post-acquisition profit is shown with the amount of revenue of holding company. That means the post-acquisition profit from a subsidiary company is shown with the amount of holding company in the consolidated balance sheet, but the pre-acquisition profit is considered or shown in calculating the goodwill or capital reserve, as well as in calculating the minority interest. Rule number 6, cancellation of intercompany debts and acceptance. If there is a intercompany debts or intercompany bill of exchange, in that case those intercompany debts or bill of exchange should be cancelled out while preparing the consolidated balance sheet. We can see if the holding company sell any item to the subsidiary company, in that case holding company will show it as a accounts receivable and the subsidiary company will show it as a accounts payable. These intercompany debts, I mean the accounts receivable and the accounts payable, should be cancelled or eliminated while preparing the consolidated balance sheet or consolidated financial position. And in the same way, if there is a bill of exchange created by the holding company and subsidiary company, in that case the bills receivable by one company and the bills payable by another company should be cancelled out while preparing the consolidated balance sheet or consolidated financial position. Rule number 7, cancellation of intercompany loans and advances. If the holding company make a loan of 10,000 to subsidiary company, in that case holding company will show it as an asset, the subsidiary company will show it as a liability. But whenever we will prepare the consolidated financial position, we need to remove this, or we need to cancel this asset and liability from the consolidated balance sheet or consolidated financial position. Rule number 8, adjustment of bank balances. If there is a bank balance by both the companies, the favorable balance should be shown as asset and the overdrawn balance should be shown as liability. But if both the holding and subsidiary company maintain accounts in a same bank, same branch, in that case they can set off debt balances. So these are the primary discussion. Now we are going to solve a problem to prepare a consolidated financial position of holding company and subsidiary company. Here we can see two financial positions. One financial position of holding company limited, another one is financial position or balance sheet of subsidiary company limited. From this problem we will prepare a consolidated balance sheet or consolidated financial position. Here we can see the equities of holding company and subsidiary company. Non-current liabilities, there is no non-current liabilities. Current liabilities, here we can see 20,000 for holding and 35,000 for subsidiary. Here we can see the non-current assets of holding company and subsidiary company, and current assets for holding company and subsidiary company. Holding company limited acquired shares in subsidiary company on 1st January 2017, but this balance sheet or this financial position is on 31st December, but holding company acquired the shares of subsidiary company on 1st January. When the subsidiary company limited had 25,000 in profit and loss account. I mean, here we can see the profit and loss account of subsidiary company is 40,000, but among this 40,000, up to 25,000 was profit before acquiring by the holding company. That means this 25,000 is the pre-acquisition profit or capital profit, because this profit was made by the subsidiary company before acquiring by the holding company. We can see the 40,000, this is the profit and loss account of subsidiary limited. Among this 40,000, 25,000 was the pre-acquisition profit, and no dividend has been declared by the subsidiary limited, and we need to prepare the consolidated financial position or consolidated balance sheet of holding company and its subsidiaries. From this data and from this requirement, we will prepare the consolidated balance sheet. But we can see in case of acquiring shares, we can see the subsidiary company has the equity share up to 1 lakh and per share is 10. That means the subsidiary company has 10,000 shares, total 1 lakh, and from this 10,000 shares, holding company acquired 8,000 shares. That means holding company acquired 8,000 shares from total 10,000 shares. However, let's see the solution. First of all, we need to show the degree of control by the holding company. We can see the total amount of equity is 1 lakh and per share 10 taka. That means the number of share of subsidiary company is 10,000, but holding company invested 8,000 share. Here you can see 8,000 equity shares of S Limited or subsidiary limited. That means from this 10,000 share, holding company acquired up to 8,000. That's why if we divide the 8,000 by 10,000, we will get the percentage of controlling. We can see 80%. That means the holding company acquired 80% equity of subsidiary company. That means the minority interest portion is 20%, because 80% is acquired by the holding company. That means the minority interest has 20% right. To prepare the consolidated financial position, we need to calculate the minority interest, and minority interest is calculated. Here you can see share capital of subsidiary limited. Here the total amount is 1 lakh. So share capital of subsidiary limited and profit and loss account of subsidiary limited. Here we can see 40,000 reserve or surplus or profit and loss account. That means equity is total 1 lakh and profit and loss account of subsidiary 40,000. The percentage of minority interest is 20%. So if we find out the 20% from this amount, then we get the 28,000. This is the minority interest. Then we need to calculate goodwill or capital reserve. In that case, we need to find out two items. One is book value of the net asset acquired or book value of the equity acquired. We need to find out the value of investment or cost of investment. We can see book value of net asset acquired can be calculated by adding the share capital of S Limited and capital profit or pre-acquisition profit. From the question we can see the amount of pre-acquisition profit is 25,000. Here the total amount of profit is 40,000. From this 40,000, pre-acquisition profit or capital profit is 25,000. In calculating the book value of equity or net asset, the another name of net asset is called equity. Book value of equity acquired can be calculated by adding the pre-acquisition profit with the capital. Capital of subsidiary limited is 1 lakh and pre-acquisition profit is 25,000. From this amount, holding company acquired 80%. Then we can say that the book value of equity acquired by the holding company is up to 1 lakh. From the question, we can see holding company invested 8,000 equity shares of S Limited with the amount of 1,25,000. That means their investment amount is 1,25,000. That means the value of investment 1,25,000. But they have acquired equity up to 1 lakh. We already know that if the value of investment, here the value of investment is 1,25,000. If the value of investment is higher than the book value of equity acquired, again I am repeating, net asset means equity. If the value of investment in subsidiary is higher than the book value of equity acquired, then it is called goodwill. Here we can see the investment is 1,25,000, value of investment 1,25,000, but holding company acquired net asset or equity up to 1 lakh. That means there is a goodwill. We need to deduct the book value of equity acquired from the value of investment. Here value of investment is 1,25,000 and the equity acquired is 1 lakh. That means the 25,000, this amount is called goodwill. But if the book value of equity is higher than the value of investment, that will be capital reserve. After that, we need to calculate the combined reserve or profit and loss account. In calculating the combined reserve or profit and loss account, we will show the profit and loss amount of holding company and the post acquisition profit of subsidiary company. From the question we can see the profit and loss account of holding company limited is 55,000, and this is 55,000, and this is the total profit and loss account of subsidiary limited. But from this 40,000, 25,000 is the pre-acquisition profit. That means the rest of the amount, if we deduct 25,000 from the 40,000, the rest of the amount is 12,000. This 12,000 is the post-acquisition profit. Whenever we will prepare the consolidated financial position, this post-acquisition profit should be included with the profit and loss account of holding company limited. That means profit and loss account of holding company limited is 55,000, and the post-acquisition profit of subsidiary limited is 12,000. Total 67,000 should be shown as a combined reserve or profit and loss account in the consolidated financial position. These are the calculation. Again, I am repeating, we need to find out the degree of control. Here we can see 80% control by the holding company. That means the 20% is the interest of the minority shareholders. Then we need to calculate the minority interest. Then we need to calculate the goodwill or capital reserve. If the value of investment is higher, then goodwill. If the value of equity is higher, then capital reserve. And we need to calculate this combined reserve or combined profit and loss account. However, after this calculation, we can easily prepare the consolidated financial position or consolidated balance sheets of holding company and subsidiary company. I have shown these two columns just for easy understanding for you. This two column is not the part of consolidated financial position. Please don't be confused. I have just shown it to facilitate the easy understanding of preparing the consolidated financial position. However, we can see share capital. We will only show the amount of holding company. Here the amount of holding company is 5 lakh, because we already know that this equity and this investment should be cancelled. And profit and loss account is 67,000. Here we can see 55,000 and 40,000, but this 40,000 has been distributed in calculating the minority interest as well as the pre-acquisition profit or post-acquisition profit. We have found this amount from here. We can see the combined profit, holding company 55,000 and post-acquisition profit 12,000, total 67,000. This 67,000 have been shown here, and this is the minority interest we have calculated. We can see this is the minority interest 28,000. This minority interest have been shown as a separate item because this is not a liability or equity. It's a separate item. These are the right of the minority shareholders. However, there is no non-current liabilities. Current liability side, we can see accounts payable. Here 20,000, here 35,000. Just if we combine 55,000, very easy. Capital 5 lakh, only this amount because we have cancelled this item, and profit and loss account total 67,000. We have taken this amount from here. Then minority interest 28,000. We have taken this amount from here, 28,000. Then the current liability is 55,000. So total liability amount 6,50,000. On the other hand, the assets item, we can see land 1,40,000, total 1,40,000. Building 1,50,000, total 1,50,000. And we have cancelled this item with this item. Again, I am repeating, the equity of subsidiary limited and the investment of holding limited should be cancelled. Okay, so this amount will not be shown here. Then we can see goodwill 25,000. Here we can see we have calculated this goodwill by following this procedure. Very simple. If value of investment or cost of investment is higher than the book value of equity acquired, then this is goodwill, and goodwill should be shown here. But if the book value of equity is higher than the value of investment, then in that case it will be capital reserve. That capital reserve should be shown in this place, not in the asset side. In the current asset, we can see inventory is 90,000 plus 30,000, total 1,20,000. Account receivable 40,000, 30,000, total 70,000. Cash and cash equivalents total 1,45,000. Here you can see 1,20,000, 25,000, 1,45,000. Just we combined most of the item except the goodwill, it has been calculated as a notes. Minority interest, it has been calculated as a notes, and profit and loss account or retained earnings or surplus, it has been calculated, and the rest of the item we have shown just combining both the item from the holding company and subsidiary company. Although this 2 column is not the part of our solution, I have shown it to you only for easy calculation or only for easy understanding. This is the actual consolidated financial position. Those 2 columns are not necessary. However, we can see the total amount is 6,50,000 here, 6,50,000. So from this consolidated financial position, we need to do some notes or calculation. Here we can see retained earnings or profit and loss account 67,000. This minority interest, it has been calculated before preparing this consolidated financial position, and goodwill has been calculated before preparing this consolidated financial position. In this way, we can prepare the consolidated financial position or consolidated balance sheet. Thank you.